As he looks out toward the streets below, something makes his entire body freeze. His blood runs cold. A massive, ferocious red tiger is charging through the streets. Its powerful limbs propel it forward with terrifying speed, and it's chasing his allies. June's breath catches as he sees his companions below, running for their lives. Desperation is evident in the way they scramble to escape, but the monstrous beast is closing in on them, its deadly fangs gleaming under the dim light. Then, as if things couldn't get any worse, its piercing eyes lock onto its targets, its muscular body moving in perfect synchrony as it hunts his team. A wave of panic washes over June. This isn't just a dangerous situation. This is a massacre waiting to happen. Jae-hyun stands still, his eyes widening in shock as he realizes there is another red tiger. It is massive, with fiery red fur and piercing eyes, and it is fiercely chasing three people who are desperately running for their lives. Among them is a young woman named Hyrin. She runs as fast as she can, but suddenly, her foot twists the wrong way. A sharp pain shoots through her ankle, and she collapses to the ground. She struggles to get back up, her face contorted in pain. The two people with her turn back, their expressions filled with worry. They want to help, but the red tiger is already too close. Its powerful legs pound against the ground as it closes the distance in mere seconds. Then, with a deep, rumbling growl, it opens its massive maw, revealing sharp teeth. Its intent is clear. It is about to devour her. Hyrin's heart pounds in her chest. She knows she won't be able to move in time. But just as the red tiger is about to lunge at her, something unbelievable happens. In an instant, Hyrin vanishes. One moment she is there, lying on the ground, helpless. The next she is gone, disappearing into thin air. Even the red tiger, who is used to being the hunter, is stunned. Its eyes dart around, searching for its prey, but there is nothing left of her. Meanwhile, Hyrin suddenly finds herself in a completely different place. She blinks, disoriented, as she realizes she is now inside a room. The air is still, a stark contrast to the chaos she just escaped from. Her breathing is heavy, her chest rising and falling rapidly as she tries to process what just happened. Jae-hyun stands nearby, watching her. He knows that was a close call, too close. If she had stayed there for even a second longer, she would have been killed. But at the very least, her sudden disappearance has bought some time for the others still being chased by the red tiger. Then, Jae-hyun receives a notification asking if he wants to grant citizenship to those who meet the requirements. Just then, a young man appears with his grandmother, pleading with Jae-hyun to take care of her. Jae-hyun, however, asks him to wait. Jae-hyun shifts his attention back to the red tiger, knowing he must find another way to kill it. The creature remains a serious threat, and its relentless pursuit of the fleeing people makes it clear that a different approach is necessary. His mind calculates the best course of action as he watches the events unfold. The red tiger, with its massive frame and burning eyes, charges forward, its focus locked onto the terrified survivors. Among them, a young man with an athletic build suddenly stops running. Instead of fleeing, he turns to face the beast. His grip tightens around the long tennis ball in his hands, and with all his strength, he swings it toward the red tiger, using it as a desperate weapon. The force behind his strike is immense, but the attack misses. The red tiger remains unharmed, undeterred, and now it fixes its gaze solely on him. Realizing the danger, the young man immediately dashes toward a nearby building, attempting to lure the beast away from the others. The red tiger, its powerful muscles rippling beneath its fur, does not hesitate to give chase. Each of its massive strides brings it closer to its prey, ready to strike at any moment. Just as the tiger is about to pounce, a sudden change occurs. A thick, rope-like substance appears out of nowhere, coiling tightly around the tiger's neck. The powerful creature thrashes and roars in frustration, struggling against the force that now restrains it. Its movements become restricted, its speed slowing as the mysterious rope continues to hold firm. Meanwhile, a young woman with a bow, Gaeong, stands at a distance. In front of her, a glowing system interface suddenly appears, displaying new information. Her eyes scan the text, quickly processing the details presented to her. Jaehyun observes everything from the safety of his building, his expression calm and composed. He knows there is no need for him to intervene personally. Gaeong is more than capable of handling the situation, and with her taking down the Red Tiger, he will still receive 4 times the loot. His strategic thinking reassures him that this is the most efficient course of action. Gaeong, her focus unwavering, raises her bow. With practiced precision, she knocks an arrow and releases it. The arrow soars through the air and finds its mark, piercing the Red Tiger. The massive beast lets out a final, earth-shaking roar before collapsing to the ground, completely defeated. A notification immediately appears before Jaehyun, confirming the successful hunt. His experience points increase significantly, and along with it, his in-game wallet is instantly credited with roughly 62 million won. The rewards are substantial, making this battle a highly profitable one. At the same time, Jaehyun notices another change. Byung-go, Gaeong, and Hyeon's trust in him has increased. Another notification arrives, catching Jaehyun's attention. It informs him that the young sportsman, Dongin, has surpassed 30 in loyalty. This means that Dongin has now met all the necessary requirements to be officially registered as a vassal. Jaehyun feels a wave of excitement at this development. The vassal registration for Dongin is now complete. Dejung is seen kneeling beside the elderly woman, her hands glowing with a faint, warm light as she channels her healing ability. Jaehyun watches this with a sense of relief, realizing just how fortunate they are to have found Dejung. A capable healer is invaluable, and her presence alone significantly increases their survival. Jaehyun turns his attention to Dongin, eager to understand the full story behind the Red Tiger attack. Dongin explains that the house where the elderly woman had been living was actually within Red Tiger territory. Initially, they had managed to kill 1 Red Tiger, believing the threat was eliminated. However, to their shock, another Red Tiger appeared, forcing them into a desperate struggle for survival. As Jaehyun listens, he recalls a previous suspicion he had. Something had felt off before, and now everything made sense. He remembers noticing the absence of goblins in that area. If goblins had been living nearby, they would have likely built nests there. But considering that Byung-go's grandmother had been staying safely in the same location, it was clear that no goblins had established themselves in that zone. The presence of red tigers must have been the reason for this, as they had unknowingly occupied the territory. As he pieces everything together, Jaehyun receives another system notification. The system evaluates Gaeong's completed quest, deducting approximately 73,000 won as the necessary cost for its execution. This expense, while not insignificant, is well worth the benefits gained. Dejung, having finished healing the elderly woman, politely asks if she can return home. However, Jaehyun instructs her to wait. He gathers everyone's attention, preparing to lay out the next course of action. His first directive is to establish new living arrangements. He assigns a group to move into Unit 2901, which is currently empty. He assures them that electricity, water, and all other necessities for daily living will be provided, making it a stable and safe place for them to reside. Next, he turns to Dabin and informs her that Units 2101 and 2102 are also unoccupied at the moment. He states that he will restore electricity to those units, so that additional survivors can take shelter there. However, he quickly notices that Dabin seems downcast. Understanding her situation, Jaehyun makes an exception. He tells her that she and her brother can live in one of the units together, while the remaining survivors will share the other unit. But before finalizing the arrangement, he attaches a condition to it. Curious, Dabin immediately asks what the condition is. Jaehyun wants her to act as a messenger between him and the other survivors. He asks her to spread the news that the team who kills 100 goblins the fastest will be rewarded with an empty house, along with unlimited electricity, water, gas, and food. Additionally, if the team accepts 10 survivors, those survivors will also receive the same benefits. He does this to ensure that those who prove their worth will be properly rewarded. Suddenly, the system interface appears, displaying a new quest to hunt 10 goblins. In a time limit of 168 hours, the rewards will be a small amount of experience, but the penalty for failure is to be prohibited from using shared facilities. After that, another notification with an option asking if he wants to grant it or not.